This New Day cooking segment brought to you by Ferguson Bath Kitchen and Lighting Gallery, powered by Electrolux.
Welcome back. One of the Seattle area's favorite restaurants has made it easy for you to recreate their most popular dishes at home. But that's not all. Purple Cafe chef Harry Mills teamed up with sommelier Chris Horn for a Cook plus Cork book. It's a gorgeous cookbook. There's a lot of ways you can mispronounce all of this, featuring unique wine pairings. Chef Harry Mills joins me now. Welcome back.
Hi.
We're cooking pasta. What are we making today?
What we're going to do today is we're going to take the idea of the original fettuccine Alfredo from Rome, but we're going to make it without cream.
Okay.
And what we're going to do is we're going to use some fresh Dungeness crab, a little bit of scallion, some lemon zest, and the whole point of that is to pair that with those big, buttery, hedonistic Chardonnays that we all love. So.
Hedonistic Chardonnays. Speaking of that, would you just pick up that bowl of butter for a second? Because I want you to see how Chef Harry
We may
rolls.
use it all. We probably won't, but we might.
That's the way I want to start my day. Okay, what can I help you with?
Well, one of the things that we have an advantage of in the restaurant business is that we have a pasta pot that's going all day. And it gets this really starchy water, and that starchy water is what we use to make sauces, and we're going to make a sauce with starchy pasta water today.
And you're going to show us how to do it at home. And that's one of the things that I just so love about this is that we eat things at a restaurant and we think, how in the world do they do that?
Right.
And I don't have time to go to cooking school, but you're sharing those secrets.
Well, I
Not all
don't
of
think
them,
they
but
should be secrets. I mean, we can provide ambiance and sommeliers and wine and all that stuff, but why shouldn't we show you how to make some of the food? So,
Thank you.
First we add salt. It seems like a lot.
Goodness.
The reason is quite frankly, this doesn't have any salt, this pasta. And in order for it to get into that pasta, you need a good amount in the water, and not all that salt by any means is going to go into the pasta itself. The next thing we do is we take a little bit of semolina flour, and that gives us an opportunity to emulate that starchy water that we get in the restaurant. So we just make starchy water.
That's amazing.
On purpose.
You guys have it because you're making pasta time after time in the same pot.
Exactly.
So we're just going to recreate that with the flour.
We're just going to stir it in here.
That's
Get
amazing.
it off our little basket. And then while we're cooking some pasta and kind of holding on, what we're going to do is the scallion, I think, is one of the most strangely used vegetables on earth because lots of people cut the white parts off and just use the green for garnish, or they just use the white parts like in Chinese cooking and they don't use the green part. I think you should use both parts. So what we're going to do is we're just going to slow sweat some shallots in here while we talk to our friend Chris and cook a little pasta, and then we'll come back and put the dish right together. It's
so we're putting
super
pasta in
fast
there.
Dish. Yeah.
We'll come back to this. Chris, hi.
Hi.
So you're going to teach us about some of these wine pairings, which makes both the wine better and the food better. Tell me a little bit about what you did in this book.
Absolutely. So the book is really trying to arm people with a wine wardrobe that they can have in their house at all times. So
I would like a
regardless of what you're
wine
gonna
wardrobe.
cook,
That would be really good.
You will have something that will be appropriate for dinner. And this particular dish paired with oaky Chardonnay, you know, there's so much fashion in the world of wine, and not liking oak is a thing now. Which is silly because oak is flavor. Not liking Chardonnay because of its butteriness is also kind of ridiculous, because when you put it with a dish that has butter, has that flavor and that richness, this builds a bridge between the wine and the food, and just turbocharges all the flavors. So like the crab in that dish loves Chardonnay, the toasted breadcrumbs will love the toasty oak in the Chardonnay, and it's just an excuse to open a nice bottle of Chardonnay. And
which I see you have done.
I've opened several, and I've only consumed half of one.
What is that you have in front of you?
This is Devona. This is made by John and Molly Abbott in Walla Walla, and they are lovely people and make a lovely Chardonnay.
All right, we're going to take a look at a few pictures because we like looking at food as well as eating food here. Talk us through some of these, Chris.
I'm
sorry, Harry, you do this.
One of the things that we think is an amazing pairing is scrambled eggs and champagne.
Hold on a second. I'm going to out Chris. He's drinking wine right now. He waited until he was off camera, and then he had a big slurp. Sorry,
so
go ahead.
we love scrambled eggs and champagne. It's a great thing to do for brunch.
Yeah.
And we have a method in there for how to make French-style scrambled eggs, which are the really creamy ones. And when we really want to get fancy, we'll snip the top of an egg off and wash out the inside, and then put those little scrambled eggs back inside for a little
That's amazing.
decadent appetizer.
That's amazing.
So,
and everybody loves brunch, right? That's sort of a universal. Who
I
does
know
not
I
like
do.
brunch?
I know I sure do. So when we just do these little scallions. Oh, that's a pork tenderloin dish that we pair up with some light-bodied red, medium-bodied red, and
What's the sauce with the tenderloin?
so that's one thing in the book that we want to be really instructive, and that is a basic pan sauce, but take all the trim off that pork tenderloin, brown it all up, and then you can actually make a sauce at the same time you're making dinner,
Isn't that
and it's a
great?
nice sort of brown sauce that you would find in a restaurant, which
And I like that you don't waste any part of the food.
no,
You're
all
using
the
of
trimmings
this.
and stuff actually have flavor. We just want to extract it somehow
Right.
to get that. So pasta is nearly done. These scallions are sweating up real good here. We're going to actually pull this out with a lot of water, and I'm
Okay.
actually going to fetch some more water out of there. Might even use a spoon to
And
get
that's
some.
going to help thicken up whatever you do with
It
the
is.
sauce,
It also
right?
helps the butter attach.
Yeah,
These
we want our
burners.
butter attached.
This
We
burners
definitely want it.
get some crab. So the crab is so delicate. We don't really want to put that crab meat in here and have it just get trashed.
Okay.
So we're just going to warm it up separately in a separate pan.
Alrighty.
I'm going to have you just drop some
crab
crab
into
meat
there?
in there.
Okay.
One of the things we want is a little bit of acidity from lemon. There's a lot of richness. Wine,
Smells so good.
as well as the food itself, is pretty rich. So we just want to stir this around. Then we're going to start adding a little salt and then some butter.
Yes.
Now this
that
butter
happening.
is going to create sort of a natural emulsion with that pasta water and
Right.
hold together in sort of a creamy
So
consistency.
you don't need the cream in this because
You don't
that's
need the
going to
cream.
create it.
And actually, the original, at least most of the research that I've been looking at lately, the original fettuccine Alfredo doesn't have cream. It used just butter and emulsified. You can see how it's turning sort of a creamy consistency there.
So we probably cheated with the cream because it's faster.
I'm almost positive that's how they did it. And it's not going to break. So the one thing you'll notice, I am just constantly agitating this and getting that butter to work its way in.
Look how it's thickening.
So another little trick that Chris and I like to do,
Oh, look.
hazelnut oil, just a tiny bit. And hazelnut oil is a really beautiful bridge to Chardonnay wine because it has hazelnutty characteristics.
Right.
I don't even, unless I'm dealing with someone who's got some allergy issues, I don't even tell them I put it in there. Just to get a really beautiful sort of hazelnutty bridge to the wine is what
But that's
we call
another
it.
thing, one of your little secrets that we can learn in this book.
So if you wouldn't mind adding some of these green scallions
Sure.
on my
much
use
do
the
you
whole
want?
scallion crusade, I think that's pretty good
Good
amount.
enough?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we just do a little bit of lemon zest. Again,
Wish everybody could smell this. It's
brighten it
just
up a little
amazing.
flavor-wise. And now this is where maybe you're a little risk of it breaking. So we want to
Okay.
get it off the heat. And we just get a little bowl here.
Here you go.
And we use these tweezers in the
Oh, look
restaurant
at this.
business. I think it helps us feel self-important.
But it also helps you not slop
it's
it around, right?
really
'Cause
nice
that's
for
tough.
pasta because you can just sort of slide it off.
And it's beautifully
and
presented.
And then, so cheese. Everyone wants to put cheese on every pasta. I think with crab meat, because it's so delicate, we really want to show off the flavor. I know we pay $24 a pound at the restaurant.
So you don't
I've
like-
heard you pay even more at the grocery store. We just want to warm it through, not super high heat. And I don't want to smother that with a ton of really intensely flavored
And you
cheese.
didn't
I'd
break
rather.
it, so it's not all shredded. It's nice and lumpy.
I
Want
think
a little
breadcrumbs are great.
All right.
Breadcrumbs give you that texture, sort of back teeth texture that it's very pleasant. And this is, let's be honest, there's some softness here that I think is really going to be improved by having a little bit of crunch in the
Now,
dish.
What wine have we got with this?
Chris, what do we got?
I grabbed some Frank Family's Inn from Napa Valley. They make a great buttery oaky Chardonnay.
Let's see if it's buttery and oaky, shall we?
Oh.
Sure.
I can assure you it is. This
I'm
thing's
going to let
making
Harry
noise at
smell
me.
it. I'm going to drink it. That's delicious. So we can learn a little bit out of
Mm.
this book in terms of how to pair flavors. And even if we don't have a great, I'm no wine expert, but if I go to buy wine and it says it's oaky or it says one of those words, then I can kind of look at the recipe and figure out what goes with what, right?
We actually have a shopping list in the back where you can just take that with you
it's
and
even
say.
easier.
And what I say is go find a small bottle shop where the wines are curated by a human being rather than an algorithm, and make friends. And when you find a local wine shop that knows you and knows what you like, you have a trusted ally in
Right.
finding great wine.
And everybody needs a little help with that. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you. That
Thanks.
looks delicious. Look at that, you guys. Lunch.
Fantastic.
Chef Harry and Chris will discuss and sign copies of the Cook plus Cork book this Thursday at 5 at University Bookstore in Mill Creek. We have linked more information on our website, but I promise you this smells so good. Bonus for the New Day audience, you are taking home autographed copies of Cook plus Cork. I think you'll enjoy it. I know you will. Still ahead today, a new film about girls coming of age during the turbulent late 60s and 70s, driven by a Seattle filmmaker and a team of very strong women. That is next.